Welcome into another Tuesday night evening blend. I am Pop Blender, and with me is Matthew Matson, as always, holding up one mainframe.
Little tiny guy here.
Little tiny guy. Let's see. Let's flip flop us. So we're gonna put you up there because that's what I like to do. Put you right up there, front and center, baby. Oh, there's dial tone. Yeah, mainframe. Mine is on the way, I believe. Sci-fi and wetsuit. Got all those notifications that everybody probably is getting. What do you think
Someday those
about
will
that?
pop up.
Someday my prince will come. My mainframe will come. What do you think about old mainframe?
I mean, he's okay. I like the new head sculpt with the hat. I think that's pretty neat. I just think that Lenny really doesn't like the Marine Corps. He puts that nasty little symbol on there and thinks that that's cool. And then the last two Marines that he's released are on the shortest bucks possible. So he's trying to shrink them down to size to make them smaller than everybody else. So he really doesn't like the Marine Corps.
Or it could be an homage to people we know.
Well, okay,
it's
Larry
entirely
Neck
possible.
Yeah, Larry Neck could be an homage, but Mainframe also. I mean, Mainframe's smaller than Leatherneck.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen him in person, but I will take your word for it.
He's shorter than Zorana. That doesn't make any sense.
Holy cow! Well, I don't know, man. Anyway, in current day Hollywood, that makes sense. Oh, they're gonna get me in trouble again. Gonna get me in trouble. Okay, so here we are, another Tuesday coming up on Thanksgiving here in a couple days. Hopefully, you guys out there have plans, or maybe you just are able to take it easy. My family's very traditional. We eat at the same time every year, same place, so same time, same bad channel. What about you, Matthew? What is Thanksgiving in flux this year, or is that kind of the business as usual for you guys? What's the deal?
Well, we don't usually get to travel much anymore for Thanksgiving, so it's at my in-laws' place. They live about 5 minutes away, and
Okay.
usually it revolves around the Cowboys game because my father-in-law won't allow
Ah,
anybody in the house while the Cowboys are playing because he needs to watch the game
wow.
while he's listening to it on the radio.
Wow.
And like TCU or the Cowboys, nobody else can be in the house. Um,
Interesting.
and so there was a rumor that this year he didn't care about watching the football game, so we were going to have dinner, later or whatever. But that may have changed after last week. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm sure it did change after last week where they come back from behind, win down 21-0
I mean, they were losing
over the
so
Eagles.
well, and then the other team lost harder.
They were losing so well. It is one of the two teams that I absolutely cannot stand in my life. And that just comes from growing up in the 70s and that rivalry
Yeah.
back then, right? And
Hey, I'm from
and
DC,
being a
man.
Steelers
That's
fan.
my team.
Who?
I'm from DC. That's my team.
Oh, yeah,
Always
yeah, yeah.
will be.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No,
the Cowboys
I
were
get
the
it.
arch nemesis.
A lot of tradition there, man. So hopefully you guys are gonna be able to watch some football. May prevent Matthew from eating when he wants to. Um, you know, it, I like having the games on, and we actually have good games this year. Like it used to be, the Lions were terrible there for a
Yep.
long time, but they always played. So we actually have some good games. So it should be a good day. And then college football rivalry week coming up this weekend.
Yep.
Final game of this regular season for all the teams and stuff. So yeah, man, there's a lot going on the next few days. Um, and you're still trying to determine what Thanksgiving pick, right, on Instagram that you're going to be doing, right? You're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
mulling over everybody's trying to push you one direction, you're kind of pushing on another direction. So we'll see what happens when it
Well,
comes
I
out.
may end up having to do both because I've got a Saturday collab that I could use the other idea with.
Okay. Well,
So,
I've got your Instagram pulled up, and so later on, I kind of want to go through a couple of the newer pics that you've got anyway. Well, let's say hello to the chat, and then we'll kind of jump on in, and try not to breeze through a bunch of stuff, right? I like taking it easy. Big Johnny Reno, Cage's Customs coming in hot and heavy. Cheers to you, brother. Cooking with Eric, Big Eric Thurman. He's watching Uncle Tim, which we got a nice kick out of there for a minute. Uncle Tim is entertainment. I was telling Matthew before we went on. He's entertainment without trying to be entertaining.
Yep.
Most of you guys know who that is, I'm sure. So, he's flip-flops in every video practically, but the dude is funny. And I think sometimes it's just the way somebody talks, right? The phrases they use, some lingo. Like, I love that stuff. Garaf is here. Should we, Matthew, travel and promote this show like Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good? Should we go on a press
I don't know.
tour?
We'd both have to lose about 150 pounds to look like skeletons.
I'd be about 30 pounds. You're about 32 pounds, which is about right. I think
Right.
right on there.
Oh man, they're scary.
Yeah, it's brutal. I talked about it Sunday a bit, and I didn't even show everything that could really be shown. It's trying to find a good compilation video without it being someone else's video.
Yeah.
Right? Like with them talking over it, sound effects, stuff like that. It's kind of hard to find. Turk Murphy's here.
What's up,
Turk?
And I mean, they don't look healthy at all. And then one of them, of course, gets sick, so they have to stop the tour or whatever. Or, and then
whatever. Solidarity,
So, hey, whatever. You know.
it is bad. And we are going to talk about that movie, but not as far as a review, not as far as like for you. It's more in context with the lessons I think that maybe we hope are learned from a movie that's uber successful. And we'll get to it in just a second. Brogu, what's up, Brogu? Hopefully Grogu is doing well, putting the finishing touches on that movie coming out. 3-star draw is here as well, and I wanted to highlight this because he likes the top 10 mainframe for the year. A little tiny, but mighty.
He says that, but I mean, seriously, this guy is so awesome. I mean, he's one of the best of the year for sure.
Garaf. Maybe those are customs, man. You could customize some lifts for those shoes, Garaf, right?
Well, somebody swapped out his legs already with somebody else's legs to make him taller.
Big lob. That would be awesome. A Pug with Toys is here.
Then he could do a whole Henry Cavill with those short little arms and big legs.
Oh, stop it. I like Henry. Let's not pick
I
on
love Henry.
Henry.
I love Henry.
Pug with Toys is here. What's going on? Coming off another successful Monday night stream.
I don't know, man. They seem to be picking pretty hard at each other tonight. It was uncomfortable to watch sometimes that they were getting at each other.
Sometimes, yeah, it can be. I did like the pics of the assembly required and stuff like that. Last night, everybody that showed up. That's always.
Oh yeah, last night's was good. I was talking about today's.
Oh, today? Oh no, I didn't get a chance. I was in the middle of eating and saving stuff and and actually watching Welcome to Derry, which we can kind of.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't gotten to the new one yet.
Okay, all right, then never mind.
Sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. Let's see here. Rogu, K's, everybody's saying hello to everybody else, and I am A-okay with that, my friends. Okay. So, I'll quickly say, Welcome to Derry. It's starting to, it's hard for a show in its first season, in the first half of its first season, to jump the shark.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to say that, but it's starting to get there. That's all I'm going to say. Where is Ken? Did I miss Ken?
No, but you have to say hi to Ken. Otherwise, it'll be offensive.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah, last night. Okay, hey, Ken, if you see this, I want to personally apologize to you. This is me personally apologizing. Do you have anything to say about that, Matthew?
Ken,
hi, Ken.
I did not say hi to you yesterday in the chat. We had a discussion, but I didn't say hi. So I just got to say, F you, man. I'm not saying hi to you.
Damn! Press tour incoming. Sabir is
Love
here
you,
as
Ken.
well. What's up, Sabir? Good to see you, buddy. Holy moly, fighting words now. It's a Whew. Hey, Ken makes some good videos though.
Oh, he does.
Ken makes good
Those
videos.
videos are
He does.
are
Yeah,
awesome.
evergreen content. That's what it's called.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Evergreen content, man. That's the kind of videos you want to make. People see them 5 years from now, and
Now,
watch them.
now, Iron Ken, I haven't heard Iron Ken 3K in a long time.
Oh
That guy
shit!
hasn't been around. Nobody said nothing about him. He just kind of disappeared.
It, you know, you're right. Like he is really fallen off the map, right? Like when it comes to the toy,
Maybe it
toy
was the vamp
collecting
spam
videos and
thing.
stuff. You may be right, but that's interesting because you're right. I have not heard that name in a long time, even
Sit
just in like a joke or
in
passing.
passing, yeah, yeah.
Right, right, right.
And,
Wow.
like I think the last thing that I remember was him posting about all the jealous of all those people with the vamps, and getting everybody to say stop the vamp spam.
Right.
And then Baldy made the whole video with the spam
Yep.
inside the vamp case.
Yeah, that's right. And that pretty much put an end to it. I know 3 Star Draw was a huge fan of the 3K. And was it Stacks to the Max?
Three stacks to the max.
Okay, there we go. Damn, shows you what I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. He was just one of those guys that was entertaining for about 5 minutes, and then you feel like you're losing brain cells by watching him. So you just got to turn it off.
Punks is not his new stuff is gold. His new stuff
Well,
is gold. Okay, well, don't make me pull it up here. That's what she said. He changed his channel name. He's still around and more cringy than ever. Well, that's his new channel name, CPB. Or no, that can't be it. Wait, what? Oh, well. Oh, it's called Gold? I don't know. Fuck it. It doesn't matter. Who cares about that guy? He's a has-been. He's collecting Barbies now. Oh, anyway. All right. Well, not that there's anything wrong with that. For those of you who might get that reference. Okay. Look, let's take a look at some numbers, and then we can kind of jump in because
surprise, surprise
yeah, big
to no one.
surprise, right? Wicked for Good, just blasting out of the gates. 4 days, 161 domestic.
Yep.
Look, I think a large part of this film is that the play is so popular, and people that have seen it, that love it, they're going to see this movie, and they're probably going to see it multiple times.
Well, here's the other thing. Okay, the play has gotten so expensive, it's cost
Oh,
prohibitive
yeah,
for most people to go see it.
I
Because
agree.
I mean, you're spending like $250 a person to go see this play. So now I can spend 25 bucks, and with a friend, and maybe we're spending 50, 75 bucks to go to the movies to watch it, and then that's a whole thing. And so now you can watch it and you get this version of it. So there's a lot of people that wanted to see it that haven't been able to, that are getting a chance now because it's more accessible.
Well, and I can attest to that cost prohibitive because there was a time where I was going to go try to see it, and it
Yeah,
and
me too.
it was like, nah, I'm not going there. I mean, just
Yeah, it was
there's
it was going to cost us $300 to $400 to go see it for just
woo,
my wife and I. I'm like,
right.
nah.
But look, it's striking a note. There's a reason why it has its fan base, and that ties into
Hmm.
what we're going to talk about in a little while.
Yep.
Now you see me, now you don't. The third one, okay, whatever.
Hey,
I
you know
mean,
what?
it's
I mean,
neat.
I like the first one. The second one,
The first one was
whatever.
good. I like the
Yeah.
first one. I just, how much more can you do with that, right? Like how
Right.
many more magic tricks and stealing stuff from rich people back or whatever, and giving money back to the people, like the whole thing. I mean, the first one was not bad, but
Yeah.
you're right. I mean, it just, to me at this point, man, it's like I don't know, and that 3 Star hits it right on the head. That they okay. So Darren, here's the thing. That's where we're at, right? Like that's where we're at with the movies and IP and stuff like that. That's how
Yeah.
this IP gets 3 movies, because they don't have new ideas. And I'm not saying that wasn't at one time, but like it's a safe choice. Maybe they can get a little money out of it if they make it cheaply,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
where we're at right now.
The highest cost for that movie is paying the cast members, because the cast members,
Yes, yes.
have such a high rate these days. And then if you're doing a sequel, or the third one, the trilogy, then you got to be paying these guys quite a bit. Morgan Freeman's not easy to get. Woody Harrelson has come up in the world again. He's
Oh,
doing all
for
kinds of stuff
sure.
now. And
Was it Jesse Eisenberg?
yeah, whatever. He's around.
Yeah,
But
but I mean,
but
he
but I mean,
does.
you've got three relatively big names right there, and so they're going to
Yeah.
cost the majority of the budget for the film because the rest of it's easy.
Yeah, and they're not going to give a hometown discount just because it's like Lionsgate, says, "Hey, come on back for one more round." It's not. It only gets more expensive,
Yeah, every time.
right?
Yeah,
Menjoza, how you doing, buddy? So Johnny, it's. I'm sure
yeah.
you've seen the trailers, but there's a lot of people that probably this thing's right over their heads. But it's a group of magicians who pull off these heists, and they're good guys,
So
basically.
it's Ocean's 11, but
Yeah.
people doing magic tricks.
Yes. Predator Badlands,
Hey, did you see?
161 million. Don't think it's going to make any money.
Did you? Well, yeah. I mean, I mean, this is another about 50% drop off from the
Uh-huh.
75%, 78% drop off the first week, and oh yeah, maybe it's not making its money.
Well, and
All those articles that said it's made its production budget back is like you don't know how economics work, do you?
but that's also how people get fooled because remember, it's
Yeah,
like this is the highest grossing Predator film in the
not
history of
adjusted for
the.
inflation.
Yeah, it doesn't. And then when you watch it, and like I did, and went back and watched the first one, it's just no comparison, right? I mean, and so yeah, adjusted for inflation. Look, ticket prices are astronomically higher,
Yep.
and then you factor in IMAX and stuff like that. So, yeah, Running Man, same thing. I mean, $27 million, dude.
Yeah.
It's brutal, and it's not good. I watched it. It's catch it on streaming if you want to, but you'll forget that film in about 2 days or less. 2 days or less. Yeah, Krusty Old Crow, what's up, buddy? Saying hi to Ken. Let's make sure we get all those pleasantries in here and out of the way. Rental Family, little Searchlight comedy. Regretting You. Sisu Road to Revenge is a
Oh
film
yeah.
that a lot of people actually really like. It's just I just don't know that it's known well enough, right?
I
To
agree
really
that
garner.
the first one was so good, and I want to see this one too, but I think we're going to see Rental Family Thanksgiving.
No, I heard it was funny. It was
Yeah,
fine. Family friendly, right?
yeah.
If I remember correctly. Then
Well, yeah, sort of.
okay. Well, maybe I don't know enough about it.
There's a sex worker thing going on in there too.
Oh
So
no.
yeah,
Well, then maybe not. Nuremberg, Black Phone 2 kind of crawling around. Although, Black Phone 2, 130 million total. People love those movies, even if it
yep,
wasn't as good as the first one, man. People love them.
yeah.
Um,
Gotta
and then,
love the cheap horror films, right? Come on.
yeah, and the cheap whores. Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man, the movie, anime property by Sony overseas, this thing obviously gonna absolutely
Yeah,
dominate. So,
yep.
so that's basically the top 10 again, back into the year, and Wicked for Good's gonna dominate for sure. I mean, I don't know if anybody in our audience has actually gone out to see Wicked for Good. If you have, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to put it in the chat. It is okay. This is a safe space. Doesn't mean we won't talk shit, but it's a safe space. No, we only do that because we love you. Um, so, and Kate, hey, look, Johnny, Dust Till Dawn for Selma. I'm with you, but I gotta agree with Matthew. I did like Clooney and Tarantino in that film,
Yeah,
especially as a pair
yep.
together. I thought they were pretty fun. But that's a great cast too.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
great cast in that movie.
And Cheech Marin played three characters.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no second win for Tron Ares Graph.
Wah wah
Unfortunately, it's
wah. Hey,
mired in
guess what? The
mediocrity.
HasLab failed too.
Yeah, yeah. It's a Riva lightsaber. Come on, right?
You know what?
It's a
It's not even a Riva lightsaber. It's something that's like, what the hell? And then you make the price probably about 40% more than it should have been.
Right. I think that was the biggest knock, right?
I mean,
That was the
if you're
biggest
if you're
knock.
paying,
Uh,
let's say $25 for the display stand, you're paying $30 for each figure. That leaves
okay.
$45 each for those bikes,
Yeah. Yeah. I
right?
mean, I don't think anybody thought that that was going to do well, and maybe they were trying to capitalize off, obviously the movie, and thinking maybe there's some hype, but
But then I mean, they try to tie it to 3.75 figures, saying, "Hey, we're starting this new 3.75 thing. If this
mm,
kicks off and does well, we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff with
so
3.75. So all you 3.75 fans need to get on board with this." So they're trying to coerce people into getting on board with a project that they know isn't going to do well, and now they
so
just killed the whole thing.
here's the thing, and this is actually a question that I wanted to posit to everybody now because you brought this up, and we don't always talk about toys. We'll bring stuff up. Obviously, you obviously at the beginning of every show kind of show off what you've got, and any news. And there has been some Vala news. There's been some news, but
There's
it's
been
not
Hasbro news, there's
usually.
Super 7 news.
And I have the Hasbro news here, but. One thing I did want to posit to everybody, and you guys tell me because these comments might come in fast and furious. I don't know. Um, what what is going to happen the day the classified line is done?
The same
What
thing
do you think that they're going to do after that?
the same thing that happened when in 1994 when they shut down the line. The same thing that happened in 2016 when they shut down the line. Right? Joe's gone on hiatus many times. It's
True.
always in the background, and when Hasbro gets desperate enough, they pull it out and they do something different with it, and they get people fired up about it again. Well, unfortunately, with each iteration that they've done that, they have placated to the 80s aesthetic and the
Right.
80s. Well, guess what? We're old.
Yeah.
Okay. The next
Yeah.
time they try to dig it out of storage, there aren't going to be many of us left that are going to jump back in on it.
I,
And
I
and and
agree.
that's who's keeping it alive because they've never refreshed the property.
It's a question that I had that I talked about with War Chest actually on the phone last night because we kind of got into that conversation, and yeah, it's like this thing's been so popular, but of course, like all things, it will come to an end. It's going to have it doesn't have an infinite shelf life. So I'm just curious that they'll go on hiatus, maybe try to come back with another 3 3/4 inch, or maybe a 4, or like I don't know. It's but you're absolutely 100% correct. The nostalgia for guys like us, it's not there for a younger generation. But it was just something curious that I had thought about last night and got into, and I thought, man, I'd like to ask Matthew what he thought may happen because it will eventually. It's going to come to an end at some point. It just won't be profitable. I
Yeah,
don't think so.
and the time is running out on it because if
Yeah.
Hasbro's going to make these figures $30 a piece,
Yep.
a lot of people are going to be out on that. A lot of people went out when it was 25, right? And so
Yeah.
you keep jacking up the prices, and then you're not doing anything different. And what frustrates me is that they want to make sure that their figures are at all a similar price point, but they're paying licensing fees for Black Series and Marvel Legends. They're not for GI Joe. So why do they have to be that much more expensive? Or if they are, they need to come with a whole lot more stuff, which in general they do come with more stuff.
You're right. I agree. I do think they're just missing out on making weapons packs, blast effects packs. I think
Yeah.
that's easy money. They're leaving
Yep.
money on the table. I don't know why they do that. It makes no sense to me.
Well, they got
Um,
to fix their blast effects and make them
well,
intelligent,
that would yeah,
make them work
that would be part of it.
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that kind of came up, and I thought, yeah, that is interesting, right? And I know a lot of the folks that watch us, they do collect, and so It's not normally our thing, but I mean, it is, but usually not on
Yeah.
Tuesdays. But yeah, it's just something I kind of was curious about. And Grass says, "Hey, look, we're all dying." But this is true, day by day. But Joe has 3 years, 5 years tops before it loses all its customers.
Oh, I
Um,
agree. Yeah.
and
No,
and that very
I'm
well,
3 years.
yeah.
I think is optimistic, but it's gonna wind down as the quality seems to be this new wave that's coming out. The quality doesn't seem to be as good. People are not going to be as happy with this new wave that's coming out, and then there's going to be more disillusionment with having to pay $30 for a
I
figure,
think the
and then the
price
quality's going
part.
down.
I do think the price part. It really does. Like I think at first maybe some people were kind of like whatever, but then as you start to kind of get, you order more and more, and then
Yeah.
you start looking at what you want, and then you go, do I really want to pay that? And I think it's definitely made a difference
Not
in
not to
selections.
dig into to politics or anything, but our dollars aren't going as far as they used to.
No, 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 no.
Right.
That's
So
for
I'm
sure.
making more money now than I ever have, and we're barely living paycheck to paycheck these days
Yeah.
because groceries are so exorbitant. Gas keeps going all over the place. So, and then our luxury taxes are increasing with these stupid price increases every time. So there's going to be less and less.
Well, it's in that disposable income,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
just gone.
already tight,
Yeah.
right? Gets that much tighter, and you are right. I agree with you. Not to get into that topic, but yeah, it doesn't go as far as it used to, and I don't know that it ever will. Um, so Crow, yeah. Do you think the EU GI Joe is their efforts to get a new generation, kind of a long term toy
It
play, or just a band aid? What do you think about that?
it can be, but it is more of a band-aid because there's nothing new about it. This is still the 80s property, and
Right.
they're mashing them together and they're trying to tell new stories with it. That's fine. Are you going to bring in new audiences with this? Maybe. I mean, what's going to be the hype? How are they going to bring this up and get more
Man,
people interested in it that are interested in cyberpunk right now, right? That Edge Runner show or Invincible, right? I mean, how are you going to bring the people in to watch a GI Joe cartoon?
anime.
Well, yeah, you've got to take that kind of aesthetic, right?
Yes.
And you've got to bring it
Yep.
in there, and you've got to tell anime like stories. You
Yep.
have to get into storytelling that people want to watch. The hero's journey, the fish out of water. You got to tell all these stories, and bringing these properties forward. You
Yeah.
really do have to shake it up and change what it was before.
As
And because they're starting with the names of the characters and all this stuff from the 80s, there's a connection to it, but it's also very much trying to play off of that. And I don't know that that brings in enough new people because it's still an old property.
Okay, and we can relate this to movies. This is dad's properties. This
Yep.
is granddad's properties. They're 40,
Yeah.
they're 50 years old. Younger people need something that is theirs they can call their own.
K-pop
And
Demon Hunters, man, it's
well,
everything that they're talking about.
and also a testament too is that even older anime product, stuff that's been around a long time is still very viable.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's not dated really in any way. You can always update that, and that's something that GI Joe may struggle with. Todd sees in the house too.
What's
What's
up,
up,
Todd?
Todd? Says kids these days don't have the attention spans to be hooked on anything for long. That also
I I
is an
don't I don't
interesting.
I don't know that I agree with that.
I agree with it to an extent because I see it. And, and
Yeah.
and I know maybe you do as well, but every kid's different, every family's different.
Yeah.
Um, it's just their
But I've
attention
seen it
span
in
is different. I guess maybe about something different than physical in your hand stuff.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I totally get that. But I also see well, I mean, I may be dealing with a different type of people, more educated, more highly motivated to advance in the world or whatever. But there's a lot of people that are of the 20 something generation right now who are in love with the 80s and 90s properties, the movies from the 80s and 90s, because they're like, oh, that was all classic. Even early 2000 stuff that kind of brought that forward. they're very much into that, and a lot of it, obviously, most of it was done before they were born, but
Yeah.
they get into that aspect of it. And think about it, what did we get into? We got into 60s and 70s stuff, right?
Yeah.
When we were teenagers, because there was something there that was interesting, right? And so there's some of that's getting pulled forward, but I don't, it's not enough.
Yeah. You're right though. Those influences. I mean, music. I was influenced by what my
Yeah.
mom listened to and what I heard in the radio in the car. Right. You know, she wasn't listening to straight up pop music. There's a lot of oldies and Motown, and I love that stuff. Right. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
and so I get it, and that does make sense. I just don't know how much you could influence your kids when it comes to not only toy collecting, but specifically something, you know, in that time period. I mean, Transformers, I think will always, but you're talking about
Yeah.
robots, cars, trucks.
Right.
Every kid loves that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, Giraffe, I will moo with you. That's all I'm gonna say. I will moo as long as I can if I can get those figures.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So will
let's
Turk.
let's stretch it out, see if we can do it.
Right?
Uh, somebody, One Piece. Yeah. No. Yeah. The next one. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, One Piece for sure. I mean, you know, and Crow. That, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, look, they're getting money from us, but that's not a long term solution, right? Not for them, at least. If you're talking about looking ahead the next 15,
Well,
20 years, 30
let's
years of,
let's look at this at a slightly different perspective too. Okay.
okay,
Um, these properties in general don't last longer than about 50 years. Okay. 50 years is about the max. Usually it's 30 years out of a property, and then it's done. Right. But at some point, somebody comes in and completely changes the property so much that it disillusions everybody. So everybody who loved it is out, and no new people are coming in because it's just terrible,
okay.
right? Or maybe it just doesn't connect with anybody. But it seems to be that 50-year mark when things just lose their luster, that it gets deconstructed or whatever, and there's nothing else there. So you always have to be working on the next new thing, right? And that's what the 80s was all about. That's what a lot of the business cycle is about, is what's the next new thing. And you want to be the new hotness, right?
Somebody's got to kind of come in and revolutionize,
And you
right?
can't call it GI Joe anymore. It's got to be
No.
something else. You've got to change the name, because it's got to connect with somebody new, so that they think that they found something special, and that way they connect with it, and then it blows up.
Yeah, and even though nostalgia is the name of the game, right? And even though, yes, Bewitched, Dream of Genie, Brady Bunch, Hanna Barbera, stuff like that, I do agree with this comment from Crow, which is your trends and fashions do come back,
Yeah.
but you're right, they last very little. They have a just a small window. I remember when bell bottoms became
I was just gonna
fashionable.
say bell bottoms.
Uh
I
huh.
was just gonna say that. How
Yep.
long did that last in the
Right.
90s?
Yes. I mean, seriously, like it truly, you know, bell bottom, just certain hairstyles and just things of that nature, right? Pop culture stuff. It does come back around, but it doesn't last as long as it maybe did the first time. Hell, even disco lasted for a few years, and then what happens is the people that grew up on disco, as they get some money and they get older, they're nostalgic for it,
Yeah.
and for a year or so,
Right.
right? And then pop music, you know, it sounds kind of disco-ish, right, or whatever, right? Things were very 80s
And
like,
and
not too long ago,
Krusty,
for even
I was
music and
just going
stuff.
to bring that back up too, because we watched The Mask last night, and
So,
I remember when swing dancing came back,
Brian
and man,
Setzer.
I loved that stuff. Man,
It
that
was
was
fun
so much fun
for
to
a
bring
year.
that stuff back. And yeah, I mean, okay, you had a little more than a year,
I
but
bought that Brian Setzer Orchestra album, Jump,
yeah,
Jive, and Wail. I remember that. I had that
yeah.
CD. Yeah, no, it was fun. It was a lot of
I mean,
fun.
it's moving and shaking, it's grooving, it's cool.
Yeah,
But things do come back around for a minute.
yeah. No, it does. But in this sense, I think it does need something that's either revolutionary or does really need to shake it up and
Shake,
yeah.
rattle, and jive.
maybe maybe it has a different name, but I won't say GI Joe will always die or forever. Like not, it'll die forever.
Right.
But yeah, eventually you get so out of touch that
Yeah.
generations later, it's just not a thing. It's
And
just
and
not
I
a thing.
and I unfortunately I think that's where we're at with it. Unless you go
Yeah.
back and do a period piece, I don't know how GI Joe works currently, right?
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and that's why I think we do need a movie now. And I would love that, Eric, and make it a period piece. I think it's the only way it'll work is if you make it set in the '80s, you lean into that, and you just roll with it. And would it be a hit? I doubt it. Would it on a good budget? Would it get some traction? Maybe, but I don't think it would be a just huge success. I mean, even the
Yep.
ones they put out not long ago were
Yep.
not
Graph,
considered
I
successful.
totally agree with you. If they had put actual writers and
Mm-hmm.
talented people in charge, um, it could have been something very interesting, and maybe we would have gotten a revival. But it's going to take a lot. I know there's a lot of people that are interested in the Predator stuff, and we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, again, there's a lifespan to these things, and
Yeah.
if it is an archetypal storytelling thing, it will survive. I mean, Frankenstein, the very true Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the first science fiction novel ever written, strikes us to our core because there's stuff in there that is human nature, right? If you can break it down to human nature and make your story about those elemental things that are in every person alive who has ever been alive or will be alive, then you can have something that lasts.
You
But
can
if you're doing something for flash and a gimmick, well, then that's only going to last so long.
you can use those same kind of storytelling themes,
Yeah.
and if you create good characters with it or you write it well, then you can dress it up as whatever you want. But if it
Yep.
has some of those basic tenets that people gravitate to in storytelling, then you can make it successful and you can make it work. It's just you're right. I mean, if you're just doing something for the sake of doing it, right? And I think, look, I like that first GI Joe movie. Okay, not the animated, right, but the Channing Tatum one. But it was obvious by the second one. It was like, okay, what are we doing here, right?
No,
What are we doing here?
Retaliation, especially the extended action cut, was actually a way better movie. It
Mm.
was, no, the extended action cut, especially, was a way better movie. It actually had a plot and a storyline and characters, and Duke got blown to shit, and it was great.
Well, yeah, that's true. Hey, they actually did do something they couldn't do in the animated movie, and they killed Duke.
And
Unbelievable.
the Snake Eye Storm Shadow bit in Retaliation.
Yeah, I just hate it when they devolve into just ninja fighting. Like, I'm sorry,
Well,
it's
okay,
GI Joe's more than
yeah,
that, and
no,
it
it
devol
is.
it totally. That's where they go, right?
Yeah,
And
and DJ Catrona was way too short to play
yeah.
Flint. I'm just saying,
Well, you are correct.
especially next to Adrian Padalecki.
Well, um, I tell you what. Speaking of a short guy and a revival, we did see this headline, and maybe you guys have seen it, but Rush Hour 4 with a Jackie Chan's the short guy I was referring. Hi, Ken. Rush Hour 4, shocker. Paramount in talks to distribute Brett Ratner comeback vehicle. Are you guys excited? Would you go see Rush Hour number 4?
Well, I'm going to say this. So I watched Karate Kid Legends. It's a fairly good movie, right? I
Okay.
mean, it falls in line. It's pretty good. It's got some funny moments. Uh, Jackie Chan is good in it, but all of the martial arts stuff was not done by him.
And he's definitely not going to do it in the new one.
Well, and so here's the deal. How old are these guys now, right? How
Is
old is
Chris
Chris
Tucker
Tucker?
even funny anymore?
I don't know that he was ever really that funny. I mean, I loved him in The Fifth Element, and I liked him a lot in these
Yeah, he
movies.
had he had some talent, but he doesn't. It wasn't staying power, and I think he also kind of personally just kind of stepped
checked
away.
out. Yeah, yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I think so. Probably best for his mental health, but
Yeah. Yeah.
um, yeah,
Not his bank
yeah,
account.
Simu, as long as he doesn't have Timu clip art artist in it, Shang Chi.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, here we go again with
what story we're
another
gonna tell?
property that's the fourth one in the same IP, and it's like, what can we
What are we
do with
doing?
this?
Yeah.
And so even if maybe, and Crow says, look, I'd stream it. Turk says, nah, I'm good.
Okay, so did any of you see the Rush Hour TV series?
Man, I can tell you right now, I didn't even know there was a Rush Hour TV series, brother. I
Yeah,
had no idea.
there was a Rush Hour TV series. There was also a Lethal Weapon TV series.
I remember, yeah, I remember that. And then they redid MacGyver. I don't,
Yep.
whatever. I don't know. I don't even know why I included that. But yeah, it's just kind of a big whatever to me. And the next one that I saw, that I also think is a big whatever, is this story here. Scarlett Johansson to star in a new Exorcist horror movie for Blumhouse. I mean, okay, like do
Yeah.
we need another Exorcist film? I just don't know, man.
Didn't we
Like
just have like two of them come out
I,
recently?
I,
Two
I
two similar things, Pope's Exorcist and something else. But anyway,
yeah, I just number one, I don't know what you do with it. Number two, look, I love looking at Scarlett and her Johansson's. I just don't know why, and is that a good thing for her? Even does she fit with that? I don't know.
is she going to be a Scream Queen? I mean, what is she transitioning out of that to go to
mm,
Scream Queen because
I
Disney
mean,
dumped her and told her that they'd never work with her ever again because of the lawsuit thing?
well, that Jurassic Park movie was pretty
Yeah, you're
damn
saying, yeah.
terrible.
Krusty, I would have to say it's not just that she lost her stride. Disney blackballed her because of the lawsuit over the digital rights for the Black Widow movie. Uh,
Well, they sent it to streaming, right? Same
they
day.
did. Yeah, I mean,
And
they screwed her out of box office and they didn't compensate her. So Disney was absolutely in the wrong. But she
yeah.
filed a lawsuit against Disney for it, and so Disney's like, she filed a lawsuit against us. She ain't working in this town again. And then
Well,
so it makes it really hard for her to get work no matter what.
now those things are true. And now I as far as her and with that, look, I'm not going to say 100% certainty, but that is something that does happen. And all of a sudden people aren't returning your phone calls,
Yeah.
or your phone's not ringing, period, or then you're having to choose certain projects. And also, she's going to get to that age, unfortunately, where, leading lady material becomes a thing of the past, right?
Well, if we go
Depending
by
on the
the
type
old,
of movie that it is.
yeah, if we go by the old Hollywood model, she's about there.
Um, yeah, no, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that's why I brought it up because, I
Yeah.
mean, it truly is. She's really about there. And, again, that Jurassic Park movie, I thought that thing was awful. No one even gets, like, it was barely anything happened in it. It was all just one big blue ball session.
Yeah, nobody really died. I mean, only a
No,
couple people.
not, oh, people that you don't give a shit about.
Right,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
care about any of these, people
Right.
in that movie. It was really pretty rough. And the dinosaurs just don't even, they're not even exciting anymore. You've been there, you've done that, you've seen it. And again, there we go again. Jurassic Park, what? Like 5 or 6, whatever.
Seven? I don't
7.
know.
Well, here's another IP. American Horror Story Season 13 cast. Ariana Grande joins Jessica Lange, Evan Peters, Sarah Paulson, and more franchise regulars. Is anybody excited for another American Horror Story season?
Hmm. I've never seen a season of it, so I don't know. I don't care.
Look, the first one was interesting. I
Yeah.
don't think it was as good as everybody made it out to be, but I do think subsequent seasons were pretty good. There were some interesting premises in there. Premises.
But was it as good as Supernatural?
The Insane Asylum one I thought was pretty good. Was it
Okay.
as good as Supernatural? Probably not in the long run. But yeah, I
I
don't
don't know. It's
know.
made it to 13 seasons, and that's Supernatural made it pretty far too. So
I think it's drawn in like paltry numbers if it is.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Eric,
it's hard to get any numbers these
and
days.
I just don't know with her as far as being a good actress. Look, I've heard she's very good in the Wicked movies, and she can sing. It's just like whatever this conversion that's happened to her. It's really creepy,
Yeah.
and it's turning like a lot of normies probably off. People that are fans of hers, they'll ride or die.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know. It's almost like what's her name in Spider-Man who plays MJ.
Oh,
That
Zendaya.
act Zendaya. It's like the
She
only
she
reason
can't act.
she gets cast because she has like 8 million Instagram followers, but
Yeah.
she's not really an actress. And she
Yeah,
has
she's
one look on her face, one expression,
RBF.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Or SBD. And this
Yeah.
3-star draw says, yeah, American Horror Story was all hit or miss. Yeah, and I've even I think talked to him about that before in the past. But yeah, look again another thing that's been around a long time. It's no Grey's Anatomy, but hey, I guess it's something people do. They recognize the name,
Yeah.
right?
And
So,
Garaf, I say that is fairly recent. She's had a pretty significant transformation since the finishing up of the movie because they filmed both parts of the Wicked movie back to back,
right.
and so they've been out of filming for a long time now, and since then she's lost a ton of weight and she looks like a skeleton.
Damn. Hang on a second.
You just dropping stuff. So yeah, it's interesting to see these transformations that these people are having, and there's got to be some outside influence in it. There's got to be some medication
Okay.
involved,
I'm
whether
back.
prescribed
Man,
or
my
not.
my other camera fell over. I felt like you for a minute. Only it wasn't my main one. It was it was my other one, and it actually landed on the cable that this camera is hooked into the computer, and I'm surprised it didn't pull it out. Joe Fan
Yank.
84. I know.
What's up?
What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Yes, no, dramatic transformation.
Yeah.
And so the only other really new show news that I kind of wanted to just go over, this came through the wire few days ago. And HBO has renewed its Game of Thrones spinoff shows for more seasons. Now, come on.
Now,
No,
when they say spin-off shows, do they mean both House of the Dragon and the one that hasn't been made yet, the Dunk and Egg thing?
so I'm not even gonna. Yes. So
Okay.
here's the deal, because
Because I
yeah,
think that they renewed Dunk and Egg before the first season even aired because they
yeah.
wanted to get through 3 seasons.
I don't really need to subscribe to The Verge for this, but what I will say is that yes, the Dunk and Egg show that's coming out, they have already renewed for another season, and House of the Dragon have already renewed for season 4.
4, yeah.
And I know that the season 3 should be coming out. When is that
Well,
coming out?
so it should be coming soon, fairly soon. Uh,
Summer of 26, actually.
yeah.
Way too long.
I mean, they killed the momentum on it.
Takes too long.
Unless they keep these things going, I mean, it's been way too long since season 2 was finished, and they ended season 2 so poorly. Nobody gives a crap because they didn't get to the point that they were supposed to get to. They were promised 2 more episodes, and if they had those 2 episodes, they would have had the big battle and the epitaph, and then you could go on to the next season like you're supposed to do. But since they broke that model, it's leaving people with blue balls, and they may not want to come back to finish.
Yeah, it's I just hate the way that streaming has just destroyed
Yep.
momentum for shows that we really used to be able to really keep up with, and now you really do forget about them in
Yeah.
between seasons. I mean, it's oh yeah, okay, that's coming back around, and then all whatever hype you had for it, unless it's really premiere, unless it's just something that is in the zeitgeist,
Yep.
then you might get around to it when it premieres. You might get around to it midway through the season.
Well, people are psyched about One Piece, but it's been way too long for that one too.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
you're right. It's just these
it's
things are
wasted
taken.
momentum.
We get fewer episodes. We get
And with Netflix, they
fewer
drop them all at once,
seasons.
so they don't even
Yeah,
bother stretching it out. It's
I
a
just I
waste of
just
everybody's time.
I really hate it, man. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really do.
Well, their shows. I mean, Landman has been killing it, and they're killing it again. But 3 star.
Yeah,
What is Duncan
I
Egg?
have it on the screen here.
How big of a Game of Thrones fan are you, or Song of Ice and Fire?
Probably not like
Do you,
enough maybe to know because I didn't know
does
really
he know
about
does he
this
know the
until
characters? Did he watch the series?
yeah, I
Okay.
think so. I could be wrong, but I think so maybe.
So the story is about a Targaryen prince who's like the last in line. He's the least likely person to ever become king. So he goes out and tries to make his name as a knight to bring his house and himself honor. But he has to skate these lines because he's, a Targaryen. But is he a Targaryen? But he definitely is. And then he comes across somebody who helps him out, who is Sir Duncan the Tall. And Sir Duncan the Tall is a descendant of, is an ancestor of Brienne of Tarth. And so you have this giant man who's helping out this kid become a knight and they have fun adventures. And it is an adventure story. It is a hero's journey, and eventually he does become king of all the realms, as he sits on the Iron Throne eventually.
Yeah,
But
he's
but
the
he's
kind of
the
squire for this night.
knight, yeah.
Or
But he's
well,
like the last in line.
right.
But all of a sudden things happen, and he gets put up, and he uses his experience from all these tourneys and traveling with this hedge knight.
It's from what I understand, okay, because I
And
haven't not read the book before.
I've read the books that are out, and it's another unfinished series by George R. R. Martin.
But what I understand about this show is that you don't have to really
You don't.
know the Game of Thrones lore, I think,
Nope.
to be able to come in and actually enjoy this show. And looking at the trailer, and I'd recommend everybody just check out the trailer for it.
I
It's
it,
Dunk
it,
and Egg, a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms trailer, and it
yeah.
looks good. It
It,
looks good. It looks fun.
it should be pretty good, especially if they stick to that hero's journey and you get a good story and an adventure that pulls you along. So if you have any inkling for medieval fantasy, it's worth a watch. It's not something you can just pass on because I think it'll be pretty good. But I appreciate it, Krusty.
Look, I do, but I have to say, I just from kind of what I've watched about it and read about it, it probably won't be a ton of episodes. It'll
Yeah.
probably be about 49 minutes long or an hour long, give
Well,
or
they
take
are
12
short
minutes for
books
credits.
too.
So, but it does seem like a pretty cool show, and
Yeah.
fans of the books are probably really looking forward to this, and especially after that first trailer drop.
But the big problem we have is that George hasn't finished this series either.
Yeah, well, he's not going to finish it.
No, he's not going to
That's
finish it.
just the way it
But I will say that after the third book of Duncan Egg, it puts it at a point that it could be wrapped up and you could be done with it. It's fine. You know
is. Yeah.
where it goes after that. But even though he hasn't finished the series, you could have ended it there. And I think people would be satisfied if they make it through those books.
All right, Matthew, I have a question to ask you, and we're going to get on the serious side here. We're going to break it down because are you a fascist? Are you a racist? Because I know somebody who actually thinks so.
Oh, yeah.
I do, because evidently I am as well. Leslie Headland.
That's right.
calls YouTube critics fascists and racists while addressing the acolyte cancellation.
But she subscribes to their Patreons and supports them.
She literally does.
So she listens to them, and I mean, some of them have legit opinions, but some of these big guys. So they're not talking about us because we're not big enough.
No,
to be
definitely not.
Racist.
No, that's true. You have to be
she's
more
definitely
famous.
talking about Nerdrotic and these other critics.
Yeah.
Critical Drinker. I'm sure she's talking about Critical Drinker, being that Scottish fascist he is.
Yes, yeah. The character that he's made up, right?
Well,
so, I mean, it's his thoughts, but, it's a great character. So, in her first major interview since The Acolyte was pulled from Disney+, it seems that she's kind of back to the same old tricks that you and I have talked about that we've heard time and time again. And I love that from Eric there, too. So she talks about the show. She said, look, it was a major risk. Her series occupied a part of the timeline with all new characters, none of the familiar cinematic touchstones. She was told they couldn't use stormtroopers, they couldn't lean on the galaxy's political conflict, and it didn't really have any of like Andor's visual storytelling. Although I'd say there's a difference between the showrunners, myself, and their abilities, but that's a different story. So she was using the High Republic stuff, right? Which went over like a lead balloon. But she says that she admitted any gripes creatively with the show are completely valid because it was a creative gamble. However, when the show came out, she said she wasn't online. And so she didn't see a lot of that criticism and crazy, everything that was going on. I don't know how you could not be in that world and not know about the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. I truly don't know. And yes, Punk, you are a big deal. Maybe not in stature, but on YouTube, yes. So
well, I mean, he got his G.I. Joe action figure made of him. I mean, classified Larry Nack.
I wish I could, damn it. Okay. So here's the thing. How you couldn't be online when all this stuff was unfolding, I don't know. Now, she's always said she is a Star Wars fan, and when asked what's her favorite, she said she was a fan of all the Star Wars.
Yeah. So Nintendo, I like video games. It's Nintendo. My favorite game is Nintendo.
But really the part, is she's talking about the creators who did criticize. And she says, look, these guys I've known for years and years. I supported them on Patreon. So she watched a lot of these breakdowns of shows and stuff. There are some of them that I respect, and there are some of them that I think are absolutely snake oil salesmen, just opportunists. Then, of course, there are the fascists and racists. So it runs a gamut. It's just, it isn't just one thing or the other. Why? I just don't understand why even go there.
Because fascists are around every corner, and you must fear the fascists because they are always hunting you. And yeah, they are the boogeyman of boogeymen, right? And you got to bring them up every 5 minutes so everybody knows that they still exist and they're out there.
It's just such it really is. It's just such a tired thing, and
it doesn't mean anything anymore. Peter has cried wolf too many times. It's done.
Here's the deal. More people tune in to watch Nerdrotic's videos and critiques and Critical Drinkers videos and critiques and other creators
and Mahler
videos and critiques
and Robot Head than actually watch these shows.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, think about
it.
There are more people that watched as Heels vs. Babyface's breakdowns of Batwoman's TV show than ever watched that TV show.
I mean, it's just the truth.
I mean, he had like 4 times as many people watched his videos as actually watched the show because people wanted to watch him break down into a pool of jelly at how frustrated he was and how terrible that show was.
And she hired her wife to come in who cannot act Okay, I'm sorry. She
Yeah, I know.
plays
She's
this
terrible.
character on screen,
Yeah.
not good.
No.
Um, and and I just feel like to go back to this playbook and to say that you didn't realize what people were saying about your show when it
Yep.
came out, I think is so
So
disingenuous. And it's like just saying, well, I had no idea. And then all of a sudden I'm hit with a bunch of fascists
yeah.
and racists. Nobody, the reason people didn't like Amanda Stenberg in the show is because the character is shit.
You
She
wrote her.
plays two twins that they're not
You wrote her
good
so terribly,
characters.
nobody gave a shit. And Garaf, you're right. We forgot to put her entire name on there. Her entire name is Leslie Headland, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslie Headland.
And don't
So
you think for one second that she did not know when she was sending women into these meetings with her boss?
she wrote an
She
entire
had
play about it. Of course,
she
she
had
knew about
no
it.
idea.
She had all the details. She wrote a play about it.
It's just such a and then Amanda Stenberg makes this diss track video calling everybody out.
Okay,
Then
she's
Ewan
just a useful
McGregor.
idiot.
Then we had the Ewan McGregor thing where
Again,
his
useful idiot.
co-star, he had to come out and make a video. But it's like here we are, a couple of years removed, and it's just so tired. And
Yeah. So I
yeah,
mean, these
Giraffe's
guys are just useful
also,
idiots.
yeah, like snake oil salesman. I mean, look, it's YouTube. You're gonna have creators who, whether you want to call it grifting or whatever, people, yeah, they use headlines. They talk about stuff that's hot at the moment. You have to.
Yep.
But that show deserved valid criticism. It was fucking terrible. It
Yeah.
was terrible. And now you got Red Letter Media running pulling for that show in a video they made a couple months ago.
That's kind of funny.
That was shit
Hey,
was weird.
I know 3 or 4 big time YouTubers that are pulling for it too because they can make a fortune off of
that
another season.
that truly is the thing, right? If you are a creator and you do, you are making money on YouTube and you're big enough, especially, then yeah, you want another season of that shit to come out because it just makes you more money and you'll get more views than the show. But it's just going back to this playbook again. And I'm just so tired of it. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, I'm done.
fans are not racist because they don't like a show that happens to have a black character in it. That doesn't mean they're racist. It's like that's kind of where unfortunately we've gotten in the last few years is that you can't criticize something that has a woman in it or a woman lead in it. You can't criticize it if it's the only people you can criticize is like white men in shows and movies and we know how dumb that sounds, right? So it all sounds dumb and that's the shame of it, and the other shame of it is that this is Disney's fault. This is Disney's fault
No, no,
because
no, no, no. Hold on. This is Kathleen Kennedy's fault
well,
because she's the one who put all these people in charge and directed all these
okay.
things to actually take place. She is responsible for the biggest loss, biggest destruction of an entire franchise and an entire company that the world has ever seen. She's lost more money than any other producer in Hollywood ever. And that includes if you actually include the stuff that she was producer on that actually made money in the 80s, right? And then you take what they've done now, what she's done now as head of the studio, and how much she's lost. How she keeps her job will always be a mystery. She's got dirt on everybody, I'm sure.
I mean, I think, I know people, and look, yeah, I get it when people joke and they're like, oh, you guys, it wouldn't be a show without you guys bagging on Disney. But all one has to do is look at the proof.
Yeah.
You don't need us to tell you. I don't mind doing it, but like all you got to do is look at the shit they've made. I mean, it's not hard to find proof of all the different things they've purchased and then turned around and put out shit. I mean,
well, and then Bob Iger's legacy is
just
now
being honest.
completely ruined because he's bought all these properties and all of them are loss leaders. right? They're not making any money. Every property that he's purchased is now losing money. And he's
Yeah,
trying to pull it back and he's trying to hype it, but he can't because
I
he
just,
lost all that money.
I
Because
just,
back to Three Stars comment, everybody on YouTube's a grifter. We want your attention. Pay
yeah, I
attention to
mean,
us. We're dancing monkeys. Come pay attention.
it, I mean, shit. I love dancing. I like monkeys. and also
Power of one, the power of two, the power of many.
by popular request. Yeah.
Joe
it's,
fan, have a good night. Take care of the kiddo.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, in and out, man. You do what you need to do, and if you can pop back in here, pop back in here, man. It's all good, baby. I get it. I got to get mine tomorrow, I think too. But yeah, Monkey. That was a fun movie. If you guys haven't seen that movie, Monkey, it is fun, and it's gory, but it's a fun gory. It's a goofy, fun, gory movie, and you will be laughing. It is the dumbest thing. It's so dumb, but it's so funny. Yeah, the whole plot is outrageously ridiculous, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. But yeah, no, I just really, it's kind of like, okay, sure, here we go. And she even says, like, she read this little headline. She was not surprised at the cancellation. I don't know how you could be, but shocked by the publicness. Well, the reason that it was public is for the same reasons that people didn't like the show. They were called names. They were told that, the show wasn't bad. They were bad.
Right.
And then when this
You're
thing
bad for
folds
not
like a
liking the
cheap
show.
chair,
Yeah.
then, yeah, it's going to be public. And then you have a campaign trying to renew it, which is, come on, like, Disney likes losing money, I guess, but I don't think they like losing that much money. Or maybe they do. Even a show that was critically acclaimed, they spent $750 million on Andor. 2 seasons, and it, critically acclaimed, and whether you liked it or not,
but here's
that's
here's
way too much money.
Here's a big difference though with Andor. You can see where they put the money.
You can. That's true. You can see where they put the money.
Couldn't pay for another facial expression on Diego Luna, but you can see where they put the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
he wasn't the strongest part of that show, but by God, I loved it.
People will say that that's not Star Wars, and it's like, but it is. It's an evolution of Star Wars.
Sabir, let me tell you something, buddy. You don't.
I couldn't.
Don't even.
Seriously.
Seriously.
I couldn't take it. I don't remember it was 2 or 3.
On your worst of days,
No,
don't even worry about it, buddy. That's for sure.
I could, and it was somewhere around episode 2 or 3 that I'm like, Pop, I can't
No,
do this.
hey, you're good. I'm serious. Don't even worry about it. It's not worth it.
I can't turn into a pile of goo like Az did with Batwoman. That's not.
Yeah, people were tuning in to that. They screw the show. I mean, they were
there to watch him melt down.
Yes. Oh, that was class. I love that dude too. He's great.
He's good.
So Joe fan, I get that too. I fully understand. I know that is definitely not uncommon. We probably all were there, right?
My daughter's getting there, for sure.
And Sabir, and he says, if it ain't Andor quality Star Wars at this point, I don't want it, dude. See, I love you for that. I love that statement.
Yeah,
I love that statement. 100%.
It was good quality show running. I mean, they had good stories, good characters. They told a cohesive story. It made sense. It fits within the universe. It's not what we would normally think of Star Wars, but at the same time, it's all the behind the scenes stuff. So is it a deconstruction? Maybe a little bit, but at the same time, we have to think there's people that have to get their hands dirty to make this war happen. It was a war.
Yeah, it was. It was
Star Wars.
It was definitely fantastic. Yeah, right. It does have war in it, and lesbian witches now. Which, look, I don't even care about that. If the writing was good and the show actually was
doesn't
done
matter.
well and was acted well, then I could give a shit less, to be quite honest with you. But it was so bad, and then gosh, guys, if you watched it, you'll never, ever forget Darth Plagueis simping around the corner for Osha or May or whichever one it was, like slinking in the cave. Like,
Hey,
it
what
was
about
so
the
gross.
naked Asian dude with the subtitles? Watch that scene when he comes out of the
That's
pool and the
right.
subtitles.
Yes, dude. I remember
And his tiny little. Oh, sorry.
I gotta find that clip.
That clip
I
is
do.
so amazing.
I gotta
Yes,
find that clip.
the subtitles or whatever from that one scene is just
Yeah.
epic.
Yep. It's and it seems like, I mean, and look, Johnny, look, do yourself a favor and watch it. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. It's so good, and there are some episodes, man, that are just and then there are some episodes in there that are a little shaky. I ain't gonna lie,
Yeah.
especially the beginning of season 2, bit there, but it.
Well,
When it
yeah.
ramps
So
up, it ramps up, man. That's for sure.
just ignore the group of rebels on that forest planet or whatever. Just ignore them because
Yes.
that whole story is garbage.
And
And the search for the sister in season 1 just
yeah,
is going to go nowhere. So don't even worry about that. But there's some good stuff in there. And if you haven't watched Rogue One, all the better. Watch this and then watch Rogue One and then go through the original trilogy, and you'll have a really interesting story arc that goes through all that.
So there's a couple comments in here I did
Yeah.
want to highlight, though, is that Crow, I got to tell
I
you,
agree.
Yes, but they originally planned to do 5 seasons, and considering the cost, just not possible. And because of the length of it, it had been 10 years, and the actors at that point would have really aged in such a way that it would have been difficult to do.
With Crow's comment there, I have to go back and say that even more so, this is why I hate prequels.
Yeah,
because
they're tough.
because
Yeah, they're tough to do.
prequels have no stakes. There are no stakes in a prequel because you already know where the titular characters are going.
Well, and that's why the show did such a great job with the other characters like Deidre, right?
That's why the other characters were so much
Cyril.
better than Andor in the Andor series.
And
which
that's
again goes back to the trope of if you put the title character's name in the movie title, then the movie cannot be about them or the show cannot be about them.
Right.
And this is the trope that's been going on, and it sucks because you have these things like Solo, a Star Wars story, which wasn't about Han Solo. You have all these things with the named character, Shang-Chi, had nothing to do with Shang-Chi, right? This stuff drives me nuts, but
yeah, I was okay only because it was so strong.
Yeah.
Even though, yes, I did know where this obviously, ended up. And I will say this on the comment that you made about going and watching Rogue One after that. I do have to say it is a little difficult, and I like Rogue One. It is a little difficult going in and watching that because, like Andor, he doesn't really act like, I think, Andor, it's because they didn't know, they didn't have this planned. So in regards to a prequel and so on, there are some continuity issues or at least behavioral issues that are kind of a little weird because where he ends up at the end of the series compared to kind of how he acts in the movie don't quite gel together that great.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy Rogue One. Bobby Wold's in the house too. What's going on, man? Kathleen Kennedy made good on what she said. She didn't want to make Star Wars for the fans. That made Star Wars what it was. Great business plan. Yeah. And you had the toys, right? And all the merch, and now it's really in the toilet. And speaking of which, the original fan base, I'm glad you brought that up, Bobby, because that will tie into our topic here in just a few minutes about what we're going to talk about fan bases and about knowing who you're making movies for. With a lot of these shows and movies, there's a lot more than just putting a movie out for everybody. There was a little bit, there was a couple other little things that we became privy to. Now this came out from a few days ago, and some of you guys Some of you guys may very well be excited for this. I don't know if you heard about it, but a new Stargate TV series has been ordered at Amazon. Look, I like that original movie. I'm not going to lie to you guys and tell you that I watched the show or various iterations of Stargate. I like that original movie. I do think it has a few issues, though. If you go back and watch it, there is some stuff in it, but overall, I enjoyed it. Did you watch the Stargate show SG-1
Man,
when it was out?
so listen, I wanted the trilogy of movies, and the fact that we got, so many seasons of a TV show, I was ecstatic about. I have seen everything of Stargate that has ever come out, and I'm a fan. I watched the SG-1 up through about season 7, maybe season 8.
Oh wow, okay.
But after that, I don't rewatch the rest of it generally. I love Ben Browder and Claudia Black, but when they came into the series, I just was not as engaged in the stories that they were telling.
Okay.
SGU was a pile of steaming garbage.
Okay.
Morally and ethically, there were some things that they did in that movie that they're trying to talk about transhumanism and all this other stuff through a means in this TV show of this ship that's lost in hyperspace, trying to get back home or back to a semblance of reality, and they can't make it back because they've gone outside of our universe and they've gone into another universe. That show had so many problems for me that I don't want to even go back and look at it, even though it took some cast members from that. Stargate Atlantis, I actually kind of liked a lot of that. It was the birth of Jason Momoa. That was his first big role that he'd had, was an alien on that show.
Okay.
It was a reoccurring character. And he has ever since played the same character in movies and television, as he played Ronan in Stargate Atlantis.
So this dedicated fan base, because look, you stuck with SG-1 for like 7 seasons. I
stuck with it for all
6.
14 or whatever.
Okay. So either way, I mean, like yourself, there's a lot of people out there who, in Joe Fan 84, love Stargate. I mean, Brogu is digging it. Garaf is in on this. I'm in on it, even though, I didn't watch the show per se, but I think at that time, whatever was going on in my life, I don't think watching a lot of television was in my wheelhouse at that time.
So I will say this about the SGU. So it started as a Showtime television show. So the pilot and I think the first couple of seasons were on Showtime. So the budget was very different, and the pilot movie for the SG had a little bit of nudity, and it explored the universe a little bit more in depth, and then created what moved forward. When they moved over to the Sci-Fi Channel, it changed a little bit, but there's lots of engaging stuff, and then it took over and killed my Farscape show, which really makes me mad. But
oh shoot, Farscape,
I love Farscape. Farscape's one of my favorites.
Also a dedicated fan base.
Oh yeah.
But
and I understand why people say Atlantis is meh, but at the same time, there were some good elements in there, and I liked how they progressed the universe. But SGU was just garbage.
Okay. Well, it never hit my radar. I remember, seeing ads and everything. But for me, it wasn't on my radar. But I'd be willing to dig in to something on Amazon, right? That's not necessarily network television. So depending on what you want to do with it, and I agree with 3-Star here is that once you have to cut them out, right? Once you have to cut out the Sydney Sweeneys, then you might lose a little momentum. If you introduce them and then you have to cut them out, maybe people might be a little upset about that. As a revamp opposed to a continuation. So
this is a continuation, and it is created with the original creators and some of the biggest fans that have kept the community alive since the 90s. So the last 30 some odd years, some of the people that have run the biggest Stargate websites message boards are involved with the creators in this new continuation of the storyline. So I don't know what they're going to say the ultimate fate of the
So
SGU ship was, but they're going to continue it. And they have a video game or some other platform where they've talked about some of this stuff, and they may be going into some of this. And so there's potential that there's a lot of fanfic that's going to be involved with this.
all right, I got one name. I got one name. Okay, now there's two names. I want to give you guys some context here. New project, Martin Gero. Okay, he does say 20 years ago, my first real job in television was as a story editor on Stargate Atlantis. Now,
Yep.
there's another name, Matthew, that I'm going to throw out to you.
Yep.
Joby Harold.
Yep.
Executive producers also include Joby Harold. And you know who Joby Harold, you know what show Joby Harold was in charge of?
Let's bring it.
Head writer and executive producer for the Disney Plus Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep.
So I don't know how much faith I've
Yeah.
got. I
Look,
don't
look,
know, man. I don't
there's-
know. Oh,
You know,
no.
when you get
No.
when you get some of the original guys in there and people who worked on the original SG-1 and stuff, then that brings some hope. But it depends on how much power these people have.
I'm going to go back to this article again because also, man, see, the more I read, the more I'm worried because in addition to his work in Stargate, Gero is known for Blind Spot, which was I don't know much about it, but he also was the showrunner for the reboot of Quantum Leap. Holy crap. Oh,
So,
God.
well, but okay,
That show was
that was terrible.
bad.
And
It
I
was
love Ernie
so
Hudson.
bad.
I love Ernie Hudson, but that show was so bad.
It was
Hey,
bad news, dude.
the hopeful name that everybody's attached to is Brad Wright.
Yes.
Right? Everybody's like, Brad Wright's still involved. He's been
Yes.
in every incarnation. He's been involved with it. But remember what I said about Atlantis. Remember what I said about SGU. So progressively, it has gotten worse over time.
I'm just
and Brad
now that
has been a part of all of that.
Now that I just started naming, look, and everybody, you can see it, right? You can see it. It's like, oh no, it's like, oof.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to watch the show through this channel and other fascist YouTube critics. Direct to Amazon. Never mind. I hated how Quantum Leap ended. I love the original, but the reboot, Joe fan, dude, you need to stay far, far away from that thing, dude. I'm telling you,
Well,
that
okay,
thing was
but Joe
bad
Fan-
news.
Joe Fan could be talking about the ending of the original Quantum
He
Leap
is.
show.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
So
He is.
so there's
Yeah.
a lot of controversy in that
Yes,
as to him choosing to do this for all of eternity versus
Right.
him actually coming back home. So yeah.
Well,
dude, Joe Fan 84, it's not worth it. Don't. I love Ernie Hudson. He's involved with it. Don't even bother.
that
it's
reboot was
not worth it.
Garbo, dude.
No, there's nothing good about that show.
Tia Carrera, man, like, yeah, not now.
Haven't heard that name in forever.
Not
Hey,
now.
hey, she's Asian. She's got Asian in her. They don't grow old, right?
Well, yeah, she did. So there was
Hollywood
one,
drugs did it to her.
Yeah, right. Or maybe she didn't have enough. One more little tidbit before we kind of jump into discussing Wicked and not a review, but the effects of this movie and maybe what it may do. Is that just leathery? That's good. Zack Snyder
Oh yeah, check
exiting
this out, guys.
Netflix as he moves to restore the Snyderverse. So this came out on the 22nd. He has been heavily posting pictures on his social media of never before seen photos of Affleck and Cavill and Momoa and talking about how much he loves them. So a new report suggests Snyder may be stepping away from Netflix, which aligns with what we've been reporting. Now this is coming from Cosmic Book News. This is another source that I source from. And reporting about his potential return backed by the Saudis or whichever studio wins the Warner Brothers
Paramount.
Discovery bid. Comcast, Paramount. Report claims Netflix projects are being shelved, and that's not much of a secret. Now, Rebel Moon was not
Terrible.
well received. Okay.
All versions of Rebel Moon Part 1 and 2 have been reviled.
Yes. However, if
So
in
bad.
fact, he is stepping away from this contract and possibly moving
Stepping
over.
away from it, I think they booted his butt.
Well, I mean, yes, but maybe not under his own power. Maybe he's being shown the door by a
Yeah.
bouncer.
Yeah.
But we talked about it a little bit. About maybe who's going to buy Warner Brothers, but this has been part of the rumor mill. Would you be open for a return to the Snyderverse? I just,
Look,
with the
you
actors
know what?
and stuff, I don't know how that'll work, but what do you
I
think
don't
about
know.
that?
If it's not already in production, it's way too late. I don't know if he can resurrect it and do anything good with it at this point. I have little faith because in total, it wasn't that good to begin with. The Snyder Bros will tell you different, and that's fine. You can love it all you want.
I didn't like it that
You can
much.
love it or hate it all you want. I personally wanted to see the finishing of his story. I wanted to see the Justice League Part 2.
Okay.
The movie that he had envisioned, and after watching the Justice League, his version of it, I appreciate some of the things that he does, and there's enough story elements, whether I liked it or not, because there were some elements that I hated in Man of Steel, in BVS, and in the director's cut of Justice League I thought was pretty darn good. So I would love to see where he wanted to go with it. Ezra Miller, he did got to replace the Flash.
That's the thing, right? Like, I just don't know. Not only with the actors and getting them back, and if you're able to continue that story or do that whole Elseworlds or whatever, wherever he was going with the future, and the Joker scene at the end and all that kind of stuff.
The one thing that I wanted to pull from that and say that I wish had happened, I wish that Ben Affleck had been able to make his Batman movie, because I know how big of a fan of Batman he is, and I know what he did to fill out that role for Zack Snyder's Justice League version of Batman, which was actually really quite good. I would love to have seen a Ben Affleck solo Batman movie. It can't be made now, and he wouldn't come back to do it. And Snyder, I don't think, has the power to pull to do it necessarily.
Right.
But that's one thing that I am sad about that we missed. Other than that, I don't really care if it comes back or not. I would be morbidly curious to see what he would do with it. And I would be more excited about Zack Snyder coming back to do that than I am about anything James Gunn's doing.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I just don't know, if they do bring this dude back into the fold, I don't know where this would go if they decided to go back
I just don't
with
see it
that.
happening. I don't see, I don't see the Saudis doing it. I don't see Paramount doing it. And my guess is that Paramount has the most legitimate bid to come in there and take over Warner, but there's so many things with the FCC that they'd have to get through.
Yeah, there's again another kind
but they
of
would
delay,
argue,
and
they would fight back. I know that they would fight back and say, "Well, Disney absorbed Hulu, so why can't we absorb Warner Brothers?"
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
and there's an argument there to be had. But
it's just adding something to your stable, so to speak. I want to say hey to Shane, Same Time Toys, stopping by, and Stu for lunch. What's up?
What's up,
fellers? Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, Shane. Yeah, I do believe Snyderverse missed its time. That's kind of how I feel. I think
it's kind of over.
Maybe just not quite handled the right way. And I would have liked to have also seen Batfleck for sure. But since we didn't really get it, I just think it would be very difficult to try to get the band back together in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way Affleck will be able to pull off what he did in the Justice League movie for
Matt
Zack.
Damon. Matt
Yeah,
Damon.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
and we got to think about how that wrecked Ben Affleck's life when Joss Whedon came in and they had to do those reshoots, and he was Fat Fleck at that point, and they gave him a drinking problem, which he didn't
Well,
have in the Snyderverse, not really,
and
right?
the
So they gave
wig,
him
the reshoots
the
wig, all that
reshoots
stuff
were
looked
so
really
bad.
weird, and
Yeah, it didn't match because he was Fat Fleck at that
the,
point, and it wrecked his life. He had to go back into rehab. It ruined him. He said he would never come back to play Batman ever again after that experience.
well, I also think we also got one of the worst. Uh,
Yeah, that was well. So that's Joss Whedon's fault, right?
I know
That's
the
totally Joss
mustache.
Whedon.
Yeah, getting
Mustache
rid of
Gate
the
is real.
mustache on Cavill was really. Look at this young man. Look at that young man right there in all his glory, mustachioed glory that they tried to erase. Look,
Mustache Gate is real.
if AI was where it is now back then, they might have been able to
No,
pull this off.
no, they couldn't. The uncanny valley is too unreal. When you try to take the caterpillar off the lip, it just doesn't look right.
It's just so. Oh God! It looks so bad, and in some ways, he looks like a dazed and confused Ben Affleck right here,
He kind of does.
doesn't he?
Yeah.
I could see him holding the paddle, and like a young Ben Affleck right there, shades of a young Affleck, man. Oh God!
I mean,
it doesn't.
you know,
it gets worse and worse
so-
every
so-
time
so
I
that-
scroll over
so
a new one.
Every time I see that picture right there, I think he looks like Hugo Weaving from The Matrix.
Oh shit!
And he's getting ready to take
Travolta, yeah.
No. Hugo Weaving. He's getting ready to take that earpiece
Oh,
out.
dude!
and-
Oh my
and
God!
sniff,
Yes.
the sweat from
Holy
Keanu from Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes, this dude. I see it. It's the hair. It's the hairstyle.
It is the hair. It's that
the-
receding hairline.
Shit, dude! Oh my God! Yeah, let's just get that off the screen for a minute there. Let's
Matt
just get
Damon is
her-
Daredevil. No, Ben Affleck was already Daredevil.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
God. Speaking of which, looking forward to Born Again season 2.
No, you know what?
Damn it!
I'm loving Landman. I
Yeah,
gotta
I know
say
you are.
that episode 2 of Landman kind of wrecked me a little bit. With my father just passing, 2 months ago, and a
Okay.
conversation that he had with his father, with his
Yeah.
son there, and the conversation that he had with his son in the truck on the way back. That kind of wrecked me a little bit, but I'm loving the show. The show is so well written. It's so real. And
Yeah.
I'm really liking Tulsa King this latest season of Tulsa King.
Okay.
I've enjoyed what they're doing with it. It is what it is. It's a Stallone vessel at this point, but it's engaging, and there's characters that are great, and you want to see what happens with them. So I'm excited about that. I'm not excited about season 2 of Daredevil.
Yeah, man. Damn it.
I mean,
I don't know.
we'll see what happens with that, and they're trying to bring in the kitchen sink to try and finish it off, but I don't know what they can do. If they're really doing Heroes for Hire, that would be great, but I don't know.
I don't like where our boy Frank Castle ended up at the end of season 1. I'm not thrilled about that. That was one of the dumbest decisions. I don't think he would ever make that decision at the end of there in the last episode. I thought it was stupid. So yeah, we'll see. Let's see, episode 1 of Landman. 3-star says they unnecessarily upped the ante with his wife and daughter being shallow dumbasses. Ooh.
Hey, but they counterbalanced it with that scene in the first 15 minutes with the boss's wife who's taking over the company and showing the whores and how he interacts with how she interacted with the whores, and took that and added it into her for fuel for fire. And that is totally something a woman would do and how one would react. And yeah, those his wife and daughter, okay, they're dumbasses. Let them be dumbasses. There's stuff that's going to happen in this season. It's fun. It's engaging. I think it's well written because there are people like this. I know people like this. It's not artificial. It is. Yeah, there are people that would do this shit. Because there's places called Florida. So yeah, there are people that would do this shit. Sorry, Florida.
So let's see. So the Hulk killed Peter's parents in the new Spidey movie.
So
is that kind of the rumor with Brand New Day? Is that it was the Hulk, maybe Savage Hulk or something, or like, well, not Savage
not
Hulk,
Savage, but
yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I've seen some stuff. I almost got fooled by an AI behind the scenes photo of
man. There's so many of those
set,
rolling around. Yeah.
And I had it saved, and then when I read the description on X, and I was like, oh no, hell no, I ain't sharing that shit.
There's stuff in there that I'm not thrilled about what they're talking about, what they're gonna do with this thing, but we'll see. I still have hope because there's enough good people involved with it that they could do something worthwhile. And I think they're desperate enough to try and do something. And Sony has a say in this. And so with Sony having a say in it, because Spider-Man's involved, then they're going to push for a lot of things that are different. And I don't know how they're working this out with Universal and the Hulk rights, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping it's good. It's gonna be really hard to top the last one. I'm sorry, that was just beautiful, man. Yeah, that's gonna be really difficult. And then obviously making it tie in with Doomsday and blah 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 yada yada. I've heard Tobey Maguire's in Doomsday, and that
Look, they
Spidey's
haven't announced the full
some
cast
shit.
of Doomsday.
No,
They haven't told us everybody who's in this movie.
right.
And when we're talking production budgets, this has potential to be the biggest flop that they've ever made because they're going to spend way more money than they will ever even come close to recouping. And Disney is so desperate right now. They're doing everything they can to get eyeballs and attention and every dollar. But this may be a make or break thing for them. I don't know. It seems like it's pretty desperate.
Around Christmas of next year, I believe, when part 1 comes out. So, we will find out if it's a return to form, a triumph.
Every movie since then, every movie since Phase 3 has been that, right?
Right. It's God, man, I don't know. And I have my own thoughts on what I think about the direction of superhero movies moving forward. And I think video game adaptations are going to be kind of the new takeover for the next several years, which gives kids their own stuff.
Yeah.
It gives them their own properties and also is wide enough, obviously video games being the biggest entertainment thing on the planet, way bigger than Hollywood.
This Zelda movie has potential to break the world. It has potential for it because not only is it something that we're nostalgic for because we grew up with it, but there are so many kids that got involved with later incarnations of the video games that have played those games and love those games because they were really well done.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like not only do you get in maybe kids, but video games just in general, and obviously Zelda goes way back, Mario Brothers, but as properties to bring in other people as well, and then also like something like a Minecraft, right, or some of these newer things, the younger generations into might get them to the movies. Last couple comments here, and then we'll kind of jump into this to round out the show. The too big to fail, right? Nothing's too big to fail.
Nothing's too big to fail.
Spider-Man, Punisher, Daredevil all together at once. I mean, who doesn't want to see that if you are a fan, right, of those characters? I mean,
Yep.
and then also Crow, yeah, the last truckload of Disney money and contract burning. If it's good, right?
Now, so it's
Is it
not
a
even Disney.
coincidence? I don't know.
So if you know how movies are made, it's not even Disney money, right? It's investor money.
Yeah,
Because they're selling
yeah,
on futures all the time. So they're
yeah.
spending money that they don't even have, right?
Which
Because
is
it's insane.
why?
But if this doesn't go as well as they need it to, the banks are going to start calling the loans. And when
Well,
banks start calling the loans, these companies are done. Warner Brothers is done. Disney is done. They're all done
it's
because they have
just,
lost so much money on betting on futures.
and if you're an investor, like I wonder sometimes what goes through the heads of people that invest in certain
Yep.
things, and especially just with the track record. I guess you got the parks and all this. I get it, but just
Hey
with the
man, I
track
want to find
record
that guy who gave Brian Flynn all that money for Super 7 and hasn't gotten a dime back on it yet, and see how he feels about his investment in Super 7.
yeah, I'm sure that that keeps somebody awake at night,
Yeah.
right? So look, to kind of get into to the topic tonight. The what I wanted to discuss is kind of the lessons, and part of it is audience, right? But the lessons that Hollywood may take away from Wicked, which as we see here, 147 million, 223 globally. And then over Thanksgiving with the break, it's going to add even more, right? It's going to just crush it. And the thing about it is, from my perspective, this movie, like the Barbie movie, for instance, okay, it knows its audience.
Yep.
Okay, you have the theater kids, you've got people who love the play, you've got women, you've got the gays. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you just put it all together, it's like that. This is their target audience, and their target audience is going to see this movie more than once. And the Barbie movie to me was the same way. So when you market it, this is who you're marketing it to. Your messaging is to your target audience. And I worry that because this is so successful, then you're going to start to see them do, live action Sleeping Beauty, right? Another live action, Cinderella make. Another, either live action or other big kind of tent pole movie. But
So,
unlike this one, I think that if they don't learn, okay, for instance, you need guy films marketed for guys.
yep.
Okay, you don't need to, it's okay if it's not made for women,
Right.
right? It's okay if you make movies for women. It doesn't hurt guys' feelings, okay? You go towards whatever your target audience is, and you go in hard on that to get that audience to come see your film.
Right.
Now, I'm just worried that it's like, oh man, we're making a ton of money with this, and they're not going to learn the lesson that, like, the reason this movie is doing so well is because there's a target audience for it, and those people are all in.
Yep.
And that's been a big problem, especially when you start getting into the diversity, equity, inclusion part. When you start getting into your, trying to like a show like The Acolyte or whatever it is, where you're trying to force people to like something that they don't like, and when they don't show up, then you blame them, but it's not made for them, right? So that's kind of the biggest lesson I hope they learn, is that, hey, the way to get these people back to the theater is, let's really narrow down that focus and hit that target audience instead of trying to just mass appeal to everybody or appeal to the wrong audience.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a target audience in mind when you create something, and you have to create it for that target audience. Now, if you're taking a property that is traditionally for one target audience and you're trying to make it for another target audience, you will fail every time. It doesn't work. It never has worked. You have never been able to change the target market without paying homage and including the original target in the scope. So if you're shooting here and here, you're going to miss. But if you shoot here and then here, you can hit, right? You still have to include the original audience, and you have to invite them in and say, hey, there's enough here for you to enjoy this. And that if you like it, great. And then we want to include some other people. That's great. I love that idea. That's how you expand a property and grow it. And eventually, maybe you can tell these other stories that you want to tell in that universe, and it makes sense. But unless you hit that target audience first, you will fail. And the problem is they're going to think the target audience is different. They're going to think that the target audience is this one group of people, and they're going to start making all of these other properties targeted towards this group of people, but it has nothing to do with that group. They're going to turn Predator Badlands into a dance musical, right?
Okay. So you hit on something. Predator, okay. The marketing on that movie was shit.
Yes.
So do you think guys were completely turned on to that movie and wanted to go see it because they put Elle Fanning front and center in the marketing and
Nope.
made her the feature and her nonstop rambling, talking bullshit, and then the Predator isn't the focus? Do you think that, anything that, like taking Star Wars? Look, women like Star Wars, but let's not kid ourselves. It was always a boys' brand. It's been a boys' brand. Do you want to tell stories? Okay, but like they really went all in on trying to get women into Star Wars.
Look,
and it didn't work.
It didn't work. Okay, so let's rewind a little bit and talk about that specific thing. Okay, yes, it's a boys' brand, but guess what? There are women who loved those stories too. They loved the expanded universe stories. There are women who got really involved in all of that because, yes, it was targeted towards men, but it included women to a degree. There weren't as many, but it still did. And you can expand on that, like I was talking about with the target market thing, right? My wife likes different stories in Star Wars than I do, but she loves Star Wars like I did, right? But it's gone so far from what we loved that we can't even watch it anymore. There's no chance that we're going to go back and rewatch any of the Disney stuff except for Rogue One in this house.
Even Mandalorian got turned into...
It did.
It did. It's because then some people say, oh, well, it's a father-son story. Well, but it got turned into a fucking Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah, so the first episode was great. Come on. The first episode was great. The first season was pretty darn good. The second season changed things, but people really enjoyed it. But here's the thing. The third season and the Boba Fett show ruined it.
Okay. And who was front and center in both of those shows?
Well,
Fennec Shan and Bo-Katan, and they became the focal point.
Well, okay, so, and this was my point from the very beginning of The Mandalorian. The first season or two, you can say is Din Djarin's story, but the next season should have been Boba Fett or Bo-Katan. Right? Because those are two other Mandalorians who you can tell stories about who would be interesting enough to include in this, even if Boba Fett's not really a Mandalorian. But in The Mandalorian, each chapter or each book should have been for a different character. And then you could bring them all back around. And you have this whole overarching story that ties back in to the reclamation of Mandalore, and they come back to it, and then you have this whole storyline that fits inside the Clone Wars, and you could have had this amazing story,
Right.
and it would have been engaging, and you could have Bo-Katan is a great character, and the actress Katie Sackhoff loved that character, but she doesn't love it now. If you talk to her right now, she is so disillusioned for what happened with that TV show. She's like, this isn't Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
This is
No.
something else that Dave Filoni created.
They completely fucked the character up,
Yeah.
and she couldn't relate to it, and was miserable doing it. But what I mean is, like, okay, regardless, right? Whether it's Star Wars, whatever other property, I guess the main thing is like learning from the failures, but
Yeah.
also learning from the successes, which is this movie was directed. They knew who was coming to see this movie. Now, I'm going to say, is this too big to fail? You could use those words. There's enough of a fan base of this movie. You said it yourself. Some people that can't see the play are going to go see the movie because of the cost prohibitive part of it. But the bottom line, it's like I said, even with the Barbie movie, they knew who was coming to see that movie. They marketed towards that movie. Now, you're going to get some guys that go out on a date with their wife or their girlfriend to go see it. Yeah, did they think it was okay? Maybe. I don't know, whatever. But like, it's knowing who you're going after and then drawing those people in. And so when it comes to the lesson learned from this is, I think all of us in our heads would pretty much know who's going to see Wicked for Good.
Yep.
Okay? You have in your head, you look at that line,
Right.
close your eyes and look at that line, and you know what that line looks like.
Yep.
What I've heard recently from other YouTubers and critics is that they don't need movies for guys anymore. They don't need that toxic masculinity back in theaters because of this rush. And like Garaf says, it lost its masculinity when they canned Gina. But part of that is that they actually had created a character that you could get behind, right, in that show. But what they did to her, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
But my point is that it's like taking another property other than this and then trying to attract a group that's not going to support it.
Yeah.
Instead of knowing what group supports what and being okay making movies for women, for men, for kids, for gay people, for whatever, right? And then target that audience. Don't try to put a square peg in a round hole.
Absolutely.
Right?
And they actually had a plan that would have facilitated that with Gina Carano, because she was supposed to head up Rangers of the New Republic, right? That was her TV show that she was going to lead, was Rangers of the New Republic. And Kathleen Kennedy said she's getting too big for her britches and had to get rid of her. So they found a way to get rid of her. And so she manufactured all this nonsense to shit can her from everything in Hollywood ever in perpetuity. But it failed because she's back. But, she's
not really. I mean, not really.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay,
what is she in?
She made that Western movie. She's making another one. She's been in a couple things, and she actually is getting more roles, and some of them are back in Hollywood. But at the same time, Kathleen Kennedy chose to do this, and they had a plan that would have brought women into it and men into it, because Rangers of the Old Republic would have been in one of those bridge opportunities to incorporate everybody into it and expand the target. Like I said, you hit the target and then you shoot just off to include a bigger audience, and then the next one a little bit more, and you could expand that audience so far. And they blew it because they were so short-sighted and ignorant.
Do you think, like, this comment from Crow, and I agree, it's like they Hollywood still thinks we need like a humanizing character in every sci-fi movie. No, like, it's okay to have just a pure action sci-fi movie. Okay.
Well, but no,
Predator Badlands, like, we didn't. And number one, who do you who do you sympathize with? Because there's no humans in the movie, so they
Right.
really don't give a shit if these things get killed or not. But what I mean is, like, had that movie been made in the vein of a not necessarily just a Schwarzenegger, but just an adrenaline fueled, it's the Predator, like I said, not hardly any dialogue at all. You know, and you market that movie. There's no girl boss shit in it. There's no woman sitting there telling this guy what he needs to think, which is what she does throughout the whole fucking movie, and doesn't shut the fuck up. But you know, you go that direction with it, and you go and you make it like, you know, the commercials: explosion, 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 guys, 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 guns, guns, guns. It's like you probably strike up some excitement for that movie.
Yeah.
And if you go after who really is into that, and guys are into Predator, girls are not into Predator.
Yeah.
Guys don't want to see this chick running her mouth and, you know, the whole damn movie. And so, but when you market it that way on top of that, then it really turns people off.
Yeah, I mean, you could throw up that meme I sent you earlier. I think, Crow, that there needs to be a humanizing element. There needs to be a point of view character that you can relate to on some level, and that's through empathy. So it doesn't have to be a human, but it has to be someone who has enough human traits to it that you can empathize with it, no matter if it's male, female, androgynous, whatever. But there has to be some character in there that you can identify as a human being to bring yourself into the story. So there has to be some level of empathy that you can gain to get in there. So on that aspect, I think that there does need to be that. But everything else you said was perfectly valid.
I mean, and I'm not saying you don't want to have characters that, yes, you empathize with, but even in like Alien, for instance, you know, you're rooting for Ripley, but it's like she's not. It's that movie's not trying to tell you like,
right,
you know, this is a girl boss and she knows everything. It's like she may show you through her actions.
But she was right on everything that she wanted.
You're right. But most people love that that franchise. They're guys, right?
Yeah,
so I mean, it just is
absolutely.
what it is. So when you do Alien Earth,
you know, having her in her skivvies at the end of that movie didn't hurt it at all. So
crunchy bush, but that's all right.
Hey, man, it was the 70s.
It was the 70s. Quest for Fire meets Predator. Fuck yeah. Right? Fuck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it does sound really toxic. And I did want to say hi.
Hey,
kid.
there's no such thing as toxic.
Right. But yeah, it's just that thing needs to go away. That phrase needs to go away. It's men being what they're born to do. It's natural. It's, you know, and guys like explosions. They like shit like that. They like machine guns, right? They like a Gatling gun fucking revving up. I mean, it's the truth. And so needing to know your audience and I guess the reason why I think it's really important that these studios, because of the lost ticket sales, because of people are not going to movies, you've lost a generation of kids growing up who now have gotten used to not going to theaters.
Yeah.
You need to know that these kids are not very much different than we are naturally, by nature, growing up. The young men still like guy shit, okay? And girls still like pretty shit. They like to dress up. They like to wear makeup. They like to talk shit about other girls. Okay? These things are fucking true. So knowing your audience, and the reason why is because of this right here. I think they completely have lost the Chinese box office.
Oh, yeah.
And they went all in on it thinking that fuck the Americans, because they did.
Yeah.
We don't give a shit, okay? We'll even edit our movies for China, right?
Right.
Even, you know, we're all about diversity, but then we're going to take the black people out of our movies, or we're going to edit them on the movie posters for China.
Shrink them down
but
to
we're
size.
all about diversity, though. And now the Chinese don't give a shit about American movies right now, and may never again. And that's why I think it's more important than ever that they learn the lessons that you need to target your audience and you need to go in hard on that audience.
Yep.
And you need to give up all this bullshit
Yep.
that they've been doing for the last 15 years or more. I watched The Dictator the other day with my son. That movie, there is no fucking way in hell a studio would touch a movie like that.
Oh,
And that came
no.
out in 2010.
Yeah.
There is no way in hell. The jokes in that movie are funny as shit. And there is no way a studio would touch that movie, period.
Nope.
And them hoping Zootopia 2. Now, is Avatar gonna do well? Probably. But you won't know a single person who went to see it.
And,
So-
and anybody who did see it isn't going to be able to tell you what.
They didn't tell you what the
plot
fuck it's
was.
about. Yeah. But truly, like,
Fire. It was about fire. Fire.
they've lost
Fire.
they've lost that market, and in order to figure out how they're going to get people in the theaters, you need to quit with the bullshit. You need to learn your audience, and you need to target them and get the people who want to come see it, and you go after them hard, man. And you quit with the DI bullshit, and you quit with all that, political correctness and sensitivity shit, and you get back to making movies that people give a shit about,
Right.
especially the untapped audiences that they've just said they told to go fuck themselves
Yeah.
for the last several years.
The people who
Right.
actually pay to go see movies. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, and so, yeah, this will be great. This will be great for Disney. This is going to be great for their bottom line for a little bit. But, is this a mirage, or will they learn a lesson? And then we're really going to know the fate of the superhero movie next year.
Yep.
We're going to find out, because there's a few things coming out.
I think
We're going to find out.
I think we learned this year what the fate of the superhero movie is. They just haven't figured it out yet because they're still in production and all this other stuff. I think we figured out that it's over.
Well, and the other problem too is, and it's funny you say that Crust is not a good football movie in the last 15 years. I will say this, if you go back and you look at just year by year, the different types of movies that came out, the different types of movies that were being made that were in the theater, you would go to the theater and then you'd pick something to go see when you were there.
Yeah.
Nobody does that anymore.
I mean,
it's like you're like, oh, hell yeah, I forgot that comedy's out. Oh, I forgot. It could be a romantic movie. It could be a drama. It could be whatever. And now, really, it's like such slim pickings that they're only putting it on just certain tent poles.
Yeah.
But, it's...
hey, we
I don't know.
just rewatched Dodgeball this week, right?
Dude, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Just, it's... And that, again, with comedies, right? But that's where a lot of it starts, and when you start kind of being scared to put a line in a movie, then it infects everything. And I don't know, man. It's like, I hope they learn that, hey, this is who's coming to see this, and we need to go after that audience and really hammer it home and get these people out. I think also too, fucking trailers suck. We're not necessarily being barraged with trailers, but not only do they give away too much, they still do it. They still give away too much in the trailer. But they don't know how to market the movies, so the trailers aren't good.
When I knew that trailers were dead, that they don't serve any purpose anymore, was with the original Suicide Squad movie, when they paid that company to make the trailer, and then the trailer did so well that they took that company and said, you need to re-edit the entire movie.
Yes.
And so David Ayer
my
got
God,
his
I
version of
forgot
the movie
about that.
taken away from him by the trailer company.
Trailer
who,
house.
Who re-edited that entire movie to make half of it freaking music videos. So literally the first half of the movie is music videos, and the last half is whatever was left of the story that they could cobble together.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew that trailers were fucking done.
Well, and now with AI, and
Oh,
you don't even have to hire anybody to cut one. You don't have to have a voice actor to cut it, and in a world, any of that shit. You just make your own, type it up and there it is. I mean, yeah, look, the streaming companies that they would absolutely love for that to happen, right? I mean, come on, like that's and yeah, people definitely would go to see the trailer in front of a movie if you knew that a big trailer was
yeah.
playing. You'd go and people would walk out. 3-star, I'll see you tomorrow night on Seven's Wild. I'll bring that up before we get out of here, which is in just a couple minutes, folks.
Woohoo!
Yeah, it's oh no, yeah, right. And Eric, you're right. It was all over.
Yep.
Damn, that's a crying shame, son. But again, I want to say hi, Ken.
What's up, Ken? Hey, Ken.
So,
hi, Ken. I'm saying hi now. Fuck you, Ken.
Yeah, and barely wanting to stay for post credit scene anymore. Yeah, I mean that became a thing during the MCU, but what's the point? I mean,
it seems like an
now.
extra stress.
That's goofy.
It's an extra stress that you're putting on the audience now that they're like, do we have to wait? Do we have to? And so everybody's watching, they're scanning their phones and putting it in there. Is there an after credit scene? Do I have to watch this after credit scene? Is it important enough for me to stick around, or is it something I can wait to see because it doesn't really matter and I'll see it online later?
How often are you disappointed in it when you do see it?
Yeah, I mean,
It's
none
like,
of them have
what was
any
the point?
meaning anymore.
No.
When you had something like, oh, look, there's Thor's hammer in this crater. Oh,
Right.
we're gonna see Jeremy Renner and this hammer in the next movie, or JMS and Stan Lee are going to be trying to pull the hammer up, or whatever. You get stuff exciting at the beginning of that, and so everybody was super happy about it. But now it's like obligatory. We have to do this now. It's our thing, and people are. It's wasted. It's wasted energy.
It had its time, and it was fun in those mid 2010s, right? In the teens,
Yeah.
where it was, get a little teaser for that next Marvel movie that was, whatever, and that was fun, and you look forward to it. But once those movies started sucking, then it's like, well, who gives a shit, right? Like,
Yep.
I don't even care if this ties to the next thing because it's just going to be another,
Yeah, I don't give a
Marvels
fuck.
or Captain Marvel, whatever.
I don't give a fuck.
So yeah. So look. I'll go ahead and just let it be known tomorrow. You guys know this, but I'll tell you, got Seven's Wild with 3-star draw tomorrow. Who's coming to dinner? We're gonna pick.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
Yeah, it's Roadblock on the cover of the thumbnail. It's pretty good shit. Guess who's coming to dinner? And we're picking our favorite Joes. Clint, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Clint?
Yeah, the picking our favorite Joes or Cobras that we would want over for Thanksgiving dinner, and why, and they got to bring a side dish. So that's kind of our main topic, towards the back end, and then we're gonna give like our favorite Thanksgiving dishes, I guess. So that'll be tomorrow on 3-Star Draws channel, of course.
Spoiler alert, it's
around 9
Watergate salad.
Eastern.
Look it up.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, I hate cranberry sauce. I hate that
Yeah,
shit.
right.
But so that's the plan tomorrow night at 9 Eastern. So I'm sure we'll see a few y'all over there. And then obviously I may, Matthew, depending on what you got going on, I may do a little hangout live stream Thursday night, Thanksgiving night. I may. I haven't decided yet. But if I do, I'll maybe send out some stuff if anybody wants to hang out. Won't just be me or a couple people. It might be a few. So
Happy
maybe
Thanksgiving,
do that.
Sabir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Matthew, what do you have coming up as I dig into your
Oh yeah, fun stuff. I'm trying to come up with
pictures?
some good pictures coming up. I really want to do a Thanksgiving one. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do for it yet, and it's coming up right around the corner. Tomorrow I've got a Ninja Force picture coming out. Friday I have a Black Friday sale picture coming out, which was part of a collab, and we said we were going to do stuff, and then the collab got changed. So I took the picture that I took for that and said I'm going to make it a Black Friday sale. And then Saturday I've got some Savage Crucible stuff and more GI Joe stuff. So I've always got stuff going on. Yeah. Yeah. The tomb picture, that was a Desert Scorpion one that turned into a Desert Battle one. So I said, okay, let's throw some extra stuff in there.
Nice.
I really enjoyed this setup. So I took a couple pictures of it. So I did a Scooby-Doo picture here also.
Yes, actually, now this is October,
Yeah.
but yeah, this one just yeah, this is good stuff. I love
Yeah,
it.
so I took a bunch of those, and I can't wait to fill out this Jada Scooby Doo stuff
Awesome,
that they're
man.
doing. It's so much fun, and I've been dying to take a picture of that mummy with Shaggy and Scooby in it, but I don't have Scooby yet. Um,
He'll be there
no, Elric hasn't been
soon.
released yet. They haven't shipped yet. I am desperately waiting on my Elric figures to show up because I've got Dragon Knights and Elric that's going to be taking over the universe here in a little bit. As
This
soon
is
as I can
that
get those in.
the little collab there, right?
Well, yeah. So I do several collabs every week, but yeah, this one was what was this one specific? Oh, axes. So yeah, so the
Oh,
theme
okay, cool.
the theme was axes for this collab, and so we have our Savage Crucible guys swinging axes, and I
Nice.
just took my guy and had him swinging an axe at the legendary barbarian from Mythic Legions and hacking him up.
Gotta love it,
Um,
baby.
and so yeah, we do lots of different themes. Like I said, tomorrow's theme for Wednesday is Ninja Force for GI Joe. Um, I've got a Conan collab coming up. I've got Energon Universe GI Joe Transformers collab coming up. I don't have many Transformers, so mine is pretty interesting. If you know, you know. You'll see it in there.
Okay.
Um, but it's pretty fun. Um,
Well, the last thing I want to show is something that you sent to me.
oh no.
Um,
Okay.
and this is really freaking cool. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. This is something that you let's see here. I'm gonna stop that real
So
quick.
I
And
don't.
then
I haven't posted this anywhere yet.
well, no, I don't know if you I don't know. This is no. This is I'm
Oh,
not
okay, okay,
showing
okay,
that. I'm
okay.
showing this
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
148th USS Nimitz
This is
ongoing
a
project update.
look. Okay, there's a whole
Look at the
video with this.
Sky
Okay,
Strikers on there.
this is 1/48th scale, right?
Oh my
So
god.
this is smaller than your 3.75 inch figures, right? Because that's 1/18th scale,
Right.
right? And so this is 1/48th scale. So this is tiny, right? This is how big the Nimitz is. And I just wanted to give a little perspective on here. So any asshole who asks about a 112 flag, okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now granted the flag was not a Nimitz class aircraft carrier, and
Right.
the Nimitz is definitely very large. The aircraft carrier that it was based off of was still extremely large, and to make it toyetic would be almost impossible because this is 1/48th
This
scale.
is wild though, and it looks freaking awesome.
Right?
And I'm
If you
just like,
if
wow.
you find the original link and go through that video, it's amazing the detail that they put into this.
Yeah,
But
I had that still, and I just was like, man, I gotta at least bring this up,
yeah,
and show it. I'm like, how cool is that? And in the backyard, like in the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
love it, absolutely love it. What kind of pictures you could get on that thing? Come
Woo.
on, be freaking awesome, dude. Um, Alrighty then. All right. Well, it's time. It's time for you got work tomorrow. One more day
Of
to put
course.
in. Okay. One more
Actually,
day.
yes, I am after tomorrow. I'm off the rest of
Yeah.
the week.
Very nice. Well,
So
I am
yeah.
off until Saturday. It's just the way the schedule falls that my off days are Wednesday and Friday, and then we're closed on Thursday. So I'm off on Saturday, man. And so, yeah, we'll be hanging out, like I said, tomorrow night on 3 Star Draws channel. So you guys stop by. And hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Matthew, to you as well, man. Thanks for hanging out tonight, y'all. And we will see y'all next Tuesday. Until then, peace out.